All right. In West Philadelphia, born and raised, on the playground is where I spent most of my days. Chilling out, relaxing off, shooting some b-ball
outside of the school.
With a couple of guys
they
that
was up to no good.
Started making trouble in my neighborhood.
I got in one little fight,
and my mom got scared.
They said you're moving with your auntie and uncle to Bel Air.
And when the cab rolled up, I can think this thing is rare, but I thought, man, forget it. Yo, home's
to Bel Air.
I rolled up to the house about 7 or 8, and I yelled to the cabbie,
"Yo, home, smell you later."
Looked at my kingdom, I was finally there to sit on the throne
at the Prince of Bel Air.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yes, sir.
That's the best podcast opening as I think I've ever heard.
Yes.
Yeah. So, man, I'm sitting here with somebody that's near and dear to my heart. This is Zeke Harvey, Ezekiel Harvey, actually, and he's an amazing man of God. But I'm excited for you to share some of your story, man, and just for us just to talk, just have just sit and just talk about whatever God would put on our heart to talk about. But I really do want to hit parts of your story because they're super powerful, man. And I don't, I think that it's not the glorification of the bad part, but knowing how bad the bad part was shows how good God was to get us out of the bad part.
Yes.
You're free by you said it in group with the girls earlier. You're free by the blood of the Lamb.
By the words of my testimony.
That's right. And so Zeke is from Albany, New York, and that's where I met him at in 2015, I think it was. 10 years. That's crazy. Yeah. 10 years. That's crazy.
Time flies.
It does, especially when you're having fun.
Yes.
And not some of it not so fun. You have years that drag by, and you have years that fly by. Yeah. But so anyways, just from my perspective, and then I'm gonna let you take it from there, and you can backtrack to how that even happened if you'd like. But when I met Zeke at this church in Albany, New York, great church, man. Those people were amazing there. But he had just had stitches put in his throat, I think the day before.
Yes.
And someone had slit his throat and pretty much left him for dead almost. And so let's start there. Let's start about how did you get into that type of situation?
So it all started when I was younger. I was about 8 years old, and I was molested, and that opened up a door, and I turned to drugs and alcohol at a young age. That led to me being involved in the Crips gang, searching for love.
So you was in the Crips.
Yes.
You was in the Crips,
yes.
Right? Yeah. And so did y'all have like a lot of rival blood Crips stuff going on all the time?
I wouldn't say that. I feel like it would be more in jail. It would be like more blood and Crips and stuff. But out in the streets, there wasn't really a lot of blood and Crip beef. It was more like uptown and downtown.
Okay, gotcha.
So that's what it really was. More so, but there is you have your little Crip and blood beef.
Yeah, absolutely, but not on the level we would think of like L.A. Yeah.
Right? No.
Yeah.
Like
And so you was in the Crips, and but you said earlier so you said you were molested as a kid.
Yes.
And you think that opened up a door, and it does, man. Almost every person I've ever seen come through addiction, and I'm not saying almost everyone, but a big percentage of the people had that happen when they were a kid.
Yes.
And it's usually somebody very, very close to you too.
Yes.
And so that's a tough thing, man. So what do you feel that led you into from there? And tell us, like your father, like if he was in your life, and your mom, and all of that. So how was your home life, and how did you get involved with the gangs?
Okay, so like I said, the molestation started when I was 8 years old, and it happened periodically with another person. Another person, I actually lost my virginity to one of the people who molested me. Mm-hmm. And that was actually at 13 years old, 14 years old. I joined the Crips gang when I was 13 years old.
Wow. So right when that all was happening almost.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
And growing up, my grandparents were pastors. But I grew up with my parents,
Yeah.
And my mom my mom always had to work. My grandfather, he showed me so much, and my grandfather pretty much took the spot of my father because my dad was in and out of my life because he was bad on drugs and he was bad on like crack cocaine. And
So
stuff
your
like
dad
that.
was on crack and stuff,
Yes.
So he was like in and out of jail,
Yes.
in and out of your life.
Yeah.
So your grandpa though was a man of God.
Yes, my grandfather was a man of God.
Yeah. I know all these, like your story, but I'll just be asking you questions so everybody else can kind of get the idea. But so your grandpa and grandma, they poured into you some word, right? Growing up.
Yes, so they taught me a lot of fundamentals. They taught me about the word, and not so much taught me about it. It's more they lived it. It will always be an atmosphere of prayer. It will always be an atmosphere of they will be reading the word or watching a sermon or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, excuse me.
Yeah.
Like even when I was in so even when I was growing up and I would go into my grandparents' house, even if we was driving somewhere, whatever the case may be, my grandmother would be playing a sermon in the car.
You told me, okay, this is funny though. You told me she played the sermon, but she was playing the cassette tape sermon.
The cassette tapes. It's 2025. She still got cassette tapes. It would. I mean, but she wouldn't part with them. She,
to this day, probably.
No. She still has them. Still listens to them. Yeah, still got a tape player.
So funny. But man, you know what though? I honor that though. I mean, like she ain't gonna lose her sermons.
No.
Touch her life.
Right.
She ain't getting rid of that.
No.
Because each sermon, you ever notice that there'll be sermons that'll be like, well, that one really, really helped me set free in this area. So I'm sure that's why she's like, I ain't getting rid of none of them because you probably can't find them on YouTube anyways.
Yeah, no, you can't. And that's the thing. I really realized that a lot of stuff that they poured into me, that they lived out in their life and what they did in their daily life, how they handle situations, showed me so much. It was seeds that was planted in my younger years, not knowing the things that will flourish
Right.
to this day.
Right. And so you had joined the Crips around 13 and you start getting involved in gang activity. What drugs were you doing back then at 13? Just smoking and stuff, like smoking weed and
Yeah, it was just like smoking and drinking and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And I wasn't really smoking like it wasn't like really heavy into weed. It was just I was just like smoking stuff.
it'd be more about the lifestyle.
Yes.
It was the lifestyle that drew you.
Yes. So what it was is my grandparents were pastors and I seen them struggle all their lives.
Yeah.
But when I went outside, I seen these guys with these nice clothes and nice cars and nice females pulling out pockets full of money.
Right.
And I'm like, hey, I want that.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's what I wanted.
Yeah.
Because that's what I seen as success.
Yes.
Although they was really dying inside.
Right.
They was using the things of this world to cover up the pain that was really going on the inside of them.
See, and that's great revelation, but that's not something you knew in the moment though.
No.
But all you saw was like, look, it's funny because it reminds me of a similar story we won't go into that. But your grandparents, you see them like doing the next right thing for God and living their life, with His will. But financially, they're just not. And I get it, ministry. Right. People don't get in ministry to get rich, most of them, man. So you get in ministry because you're gonna give more than you ever receive, and so. But then I think it's super cool that they actually lived it out in front of you. That you said that. So the gangs, you start hanging out with them, and so tell me how that progressed over time. What that looked like when you was in the Crips, or with just running the streets and stuff.
So I was just like I said, I joined the Crips gang at the age of 13. And I was in and out of juvenile facilities. I remember one time I was 14 years old. I got arrested for like stealing a bike, and bro, the police and I didn't even really steal the bike. I was coming home from school, and my friend. There was a bike on a pole, and he just popped it off the popped the pole, popped the chain that it was on, popped it off the pole, and just got on the bike and just rode off. And my dumb self was running after him.
Like, wait, you forgot me.
Yeah,
You forgot.
I'm running after him, and then we get to the hood. We on a bike, like he trying to ride me up the hill, and we ended up getting off because we can't go up the hill. So I'm sitting on the front of the bike, and like I ended up hopping off. I'm like, all right, bet. So walking up the hill. He's walking the bike up the hill, and this cop grabs me, but he didn't have on regular clothes. He didn't have on like a uniform.
Oh.
It was a detective. He
Okay.
came out in street clothes and he grabbed. I didn't see no badge or anything.
Right.
He grabbed me, and I'm like, "Yo, get off me!" Like, you know. And he took me, bro. And I'm talking about he slammed me on my head. Like I had a scar on my face and everything. It was bad. Yeah, it was bad.
Man. We'll get into some scars later too. So
Yeah.
that's the first one of those?
The first scar. I
Wow.
ever had.
That's interesting, man.
Well, not ever had, but you know.
Yeah.
From the streets.
Yeah, from the streets. And so what happened after that?
Well, after that, they took me to the juvenile facility, and that was just that started this long road of me going in and out of juvenile facilities. When I was like 14, when I turned 14 years old, I actually ended up going to jail for like a burglary charge. And
Like juvie, or like they put you in the pot? Okay, yeah. Like the juvie jail, right? Like the juvenile jail?
yeah, so they put me in a juvenile facility, and they sentenced me to a year in juvenile. And while I was in juvenile, I seen so much, you know, like these young kids are. I never knew it was this wild.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I never really sat there and thought about what a juvenile, but I was in a non-secure detention center called Lincoln Hall.
Mm-hmm.
And I went there, and you know, I got involved with the gangs, of course. And I remember this one time while I was there, we had jumped this guy. Like I had started fighting this guy, and like everybody like jumped in, and it got so bad that this kid almost died. Like his eye socket was broken and everything. And they began to pull guys from the cottage and rearrest them and charge him with new charges.
Oh wow. Wow.
They almost thought that this guy wasn't gonna make it.
And that would have been murder.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's literally God's grace because they never called my name. Like I wasn't even involved in it. And I was like, it was just me and him really that started fighting one on one.
And they never
They never came and got me. When they started jumping them, I backed up. I'm like, oh, y'all bugging.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I could have taken him by myself. Why y'all had to jump in?
Right. And I was beating them up. So I said, y'all doing too much.
Yeah. So go ahead. I was just going to say, so like, well, you did that from like what, 13 to till you were 18, pretty much off and on?
All right. So then after that, I was in another gang. It was retaliation to what happened, and they ended up jumping me, and my jaw was broken.
Okay.
And so I get out, and that gave me a lawsuit for $25,000. So when I turned 18, on my 18th birthday, I was able to have $25,000.
Terrible idea.
Yes, I blew it.
Yeah.
I blew it. I mean, drugs, parties, women.
Right.
Gone in like a month, bro.
Probably no time flat. It was gone.
Gone.
Yeah. I've been there. I've been there, unfortunately. Yeah.
And through that, I didn't know the value. $25,000. I'm like, oh, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
At 18, I'm like, yeah, but it's really not. It went so fast, bro.
Right. It does.
And so at the age of 19 years old, the rival gang, me and my bros, we ended up robbing somebody.
Y'all robbed? Was he a drug dealer?
Yeah.
Okay, you robbed a drug dealer.
Yeah, we robbed him, and he ended up putting a hit out for me.
And did you notice?
Yeah. Oh no, I didn't notice until after the fact.
Until after. Okay.
Yeah. So and then when he put the hit out, it was one day I was going up to the store, I was drinking, smoking, like I was on LSD as well, and I go up to the store, I was arguing with this girl, and then I noticed like these three guys, I noticed these familiar faces, but I did so much stuff to people that I didn't realize where I knew them from.
Right.
So at that point, I'm like, all right, just kind of like went in their store. I just remember like pulling out a knife, and then like I blacked out. And when I came back to, there was a crowd of people surrounding us, and I grabbed the knife off the ground. I remember grabbing the knife off the ground, and then I seen like these guys, but I didn't even remember their face at the time. Over time, I found out who it was and stuff like that.
Right.
And when they started backing up, they backed up out of the crowd, and I went back down towards my mother's house. I didn't even know I was cut.
You didn't even know they had done slit your throat.
I didn't know.
So yeah, and if you guys will, we can maybe put up some pictures too.
Yeah.
But if you can see it on camera, probably even there's like a big scar up underneath of his neck, which was there. And go ahead, continue.
So they put a hit out for me, and then these guys tried to decapitate me. And the next thing I know, there was this lady that was a registered nurse. She just so happened to be standing at the bus stop, and she told my brother like, "Hey, bro, hey, you need to put the because he had a shirt on his shoulder. He had a shirt off, and he had a shirt on his shoulder. She said you need to put it on the wound so it will slow the bleeding."
So a nurse was at the bus station.
Yes.
So you got they slit your throat in the store.
Yes.
Right. Did they just take off? They took off after that, or what?
Yeah. So
So they take off, and then there you are, but you're still like trying to. You don't think it's that bad.
No, I don't even know I'm cut, bro.
You don't even realize it.
I didn't even realize
You
it.
think you was just in shock?
Yeah, I mean, so much was going on, and mind you, I blacked out, so I wasn't.
Yeah.
And I wasn't sober at all. So.
Right. And plus the blood loss and all
Yes.
that probably. Okay, that's crazy, man. That's grace. That's grace if I've ever seen it in my life.
Yes.
And so a nurse happened to just be there.
Yes. And she told my bro, Shotty, she was like, "Hey, hold the shirt, put pressure on his neck so it could slow down the bleeding." And all I remember at that point was me laying on a chair on my mom's front porch. Shotty, my brother Shotty, he was ringing the bell, like, and then I remember telling him, "Tell my mom I love her, tell my mom I love her, tell my son I love him, tell my son I love him." And I seen my mom holding my son in her hands, and she opens up the door, and everything went black.
Wow. And then so you don't that everything just went black.
Everything went black, and I woke up in the hospital the next day.
Wow.
And the doctor said he didn't know how I survived because my jugular vein was cut.
Right. Yeah, which is like crazy because when you look closely at it, everywhere it's deeper everywhere the cut is, except for your jugular vein.
Yes.
Which is crazy. But it got cut though.
Yes. And I believe it's because God's hand was there.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I would agree with that 100%.
And the doctor could not explain it at all. He could not explain it. He was like he couldn't explain it. He didn't want to say it was a miracle because he didn't believe in miracles.
Right.
But it's literally a miracle. The only reason why I'm standing here today is only by the grace of God.
That's right. And and this is only the beginning of some of the craziness. And so we just getting started.
Yes.
And so it's like, okay, so this happens, and this is where I met at the point of life where I met you.
Yes.
So tell me how you got to. So I was with Eddie James. We were traveling, church to church every night to a different church. For you guys who are not familiar, Eddie James Ministries, amazing man of God. Y'all probably heard me talk about him a lot. But I met Zeke in Albany, New York, at a church we happened to be at. But I'll let you tell how you got to that church and and all that stuff.
So my grandfather, he brought me to the church pretty much from the hospital.
You came straight with your stitches.
I mean, bandage still on my neck. I'm just bleeding everywhere.
I remember. I do remember.
Yeah. But he brought me to the service, and my plan was not to go. I was hitting everybody up on Facebook, texting people. Nobody was responding. It's like the Lord shut my phone off at that moment.
he knew you will be in this church tonight, whether you want to be or not.
Yeah, and I'm like, all right, you know what? So I ended up going, and when I went, I tried to sit in the back. My sister's like, "Come on, bro, let's sit close to the front." And we sat not directly in the front, but like a few rows back.
Yeah.
And I never forget watching it. I'm hearing you testify, hearing BB testify, seeing the joy, the love, the peace, and the happiness that everybody had. It was just so. I wanted that.
Yeah.
I looked at it and I said, I want that. I wish I could be a part of that.
Absolutely.
And at that moment, it was like, wow. I didn't see I didn't know that God was going to make a way for me.
Right.
But so that night, somebody prays for me. I'll fall out in the Holy Spirit, have an crazy encounter with God. Never had an encounter with God like this in my life. Crazy encounter with God. I fall out. And when I finally come back to, I'm like, what am I doing on the floor?
Felt like, did somebody cut me again?
Right. I mean, I'm talking about tears all streaming down my face, snotty nose and everything.
And then encounter with the Lord.
Yes. And I was kind of embarrassed, because from the streets. What are you doing rolling around on the ground like that, acting crazy?
Right. Yeah. That was all new to me too. About about a year and a half before that. Yeah.
Uh-huh. So at that moment, I just got up, went to the car. my grandfather asked me, you know, in the car, how was service? I'm like, it was good, you know. It was all right, you know. I enjoyed it. And that was it. I went home that night, drinking, smoking, you know, regular thing.
Mm-hmm.
I wake up the next morning and something changed.
Mm.
I no longer wanted to live how I was living no more.
Right.
Like something inside me didn't desire those things anymore.
Right.
I went to the mirror and I was looking in the mirror and I said, it wasn't even like a prayer. Like I just said, God, if you're real, you'll make sure I go with that ministry.
Right.
Because I was trying to fill this void, this emptiness inside me with the things of this world. I was trying to fill it with drugs, with alcohol, with different relationships with different women.
Mm-hmm.
But the emptiness and the void that I was trying to fill could only be filled with the love of God.
That's right.
And no lie, 3 hours later, my grandfather calls me and asks me if I wanted to travel with Pastor Eddie.
I remember that. I remember you coming into the ministry, and I remember Eddie saying, because at this point, you know, like I was on the road with him. I was in the program Dream Life at one time, but I had already been there for like a year at this point, probably. And when I met you, but I mean, you got to think I'm still a baby too. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We're growing up together. We was growing up together.
Right.
But like when Eddie said we're going to start a road Dream Life, which meant like, you know, we would have a team of people on the road that were Dream Life, but it would be programmed, you know, like a program. And he said, and you know, Zeke's gonna be the first one in it, and you're gonna be the director of it, and so you're in charge of Zeke. Mm-hmm. And to me, at first, man, I was like, "Oh crap," because you know I'm like a year into this, I've still got some ratchetness in me, and you know, still ain't left yet. I'm still just waiting. But I remember when I was given the responsibility to look out for someone that I had met you already, and I remember those bandages on your neck that bled, and you'd have to take them off, and then eventually in Atlanta we'd get the stitches out.
Yep.
But I do remember the weight I felt from that, where it was for the first time in my life that in ministry that I was going to be an example to anybody.
Yes.
And so for me, it was so important that I could correctly show you that it is possible to walk this thing out. And I wasn't, you know, just a little, I was like one step ahead, but not far. And so, but it was such an important burden to me, because I thought to myself, like, when I saw it be real, like with Eddie, for example, when I saw he was, his heart really was what he said it was on the stage, I bought in. And so for me, it was that same concept. And I took that really serious, man. Even though we had fun all the time, be praying for people on the streets, but the burden I felt, and it wasn't like a heavy burden. It was a burden of responsibility.
Right.
And so, and I've told people for years, like the first person I've ever was like kind of discipled in any way would be Zeke.
Yes.
And so, I mean, I must have did a good job. Look at you now, sir.
You did do pretty good. I will say that.
I made a lot of mistakes along the way, I'd imagine, but the grace of God was still there for us all. And so you come on the road with us after this, and so we're traveling, and we pick up another kid in New York. He was from the Bronx, right?
Yeah.
And you want to talk about what happened in the back of the van or no?
All right, so we was in the back of the van and like some words was exchanged and stuff like that. And you know, I'm straight off the streets. I'm like, who you talking to?
Yeah.
So, and I didn't even say nothing. I didn't say it out loud. My mom, oh, he's bugging. And I just swung on him. And like hit him like 3-4 times.
I remember.
And like, I'm talking about we're fighting in the back of the van. Pastor Eddie's like, stop, break it up. The whole van is like swaying side to side. We're on a highway. No. And it was just so crazy. Pastor Eddie was like, you know what? You're sitting right here next to me from now on.
So funny.
And that's where I stayed at. I was stay right.
He made you stay right by his side after that.
Right by his side.
Yeah. And then I remember, man, we had some, like, you know, I remember us traveling through Texas together.
Yes.
We went to some cool places, you know, while we were traveling. But then ultimately in 2015, we would end up landing here. You went on a mission trip, I think, as we were moving into here.
Yes.
You went to Ireland?
Yep.
Was it Ireland?
Ireland or somewhere over there.
Somewhere over there, yeah. And so once you got back, we were kind of running a Dream Life here at like a daily program instead of it being traveling and all that. And which was a big change for me, bro. That was a big change. So every night I remember I'd be in my little closet because I didn't have a room. You didn't have a bedroom. You had like a closet. Yeah. This is the only private space in the whole apartment right here. So, and I just be in there, man, because I wanted to be able to pour into you guys like new stuff every day. And I knew if I didn't push myself, it expedited my growth probably by times 10. Right. For real. Like I grew so fast because I didn't have a choice. Right. Either grow or be crushed. Yes. And I wasn't going to be crushed. Right. So I had to, man. And I pressed in so hard during that season. And I'm thankful for that season because I think that season built me for the seasons that were to come. And yes. And so you come into Dream Life. You're in Dream Life. Now we're here every day doing the program. Tell me what happened once you got to Parkersburg, West Virginia, 2015. Give me some layout of that next year or so.
All right, so here's the thing. I was in a program, right? Although I was traveling with Pastor Eddie, I was, living from church service to church service. I wasn't seeking the Lord. I wasn't praying. I wasn't reading the Bible.
That's really interesting. Hold on. Living church service to church service, which is, I think, what most Americans do. Yes. Yes. And so, and it's easy to do that, especially in a ministry like Eddie's, because every night's a powerful church service, but if there's no personal relationship. Nope. And I see that all through just the church in general. It's like the only thing that feeds people is when they go to church on Wednesday or Sunday. But really, man, that's not the goal. That's not the goal. Yes. Don't forsake the assembly, but also you better build your own relationship. Yes. So go ahead. That was a great point, though.
So I will live church service to church service, thinking that it's enough. And what happened was I began to compromise because my foundation wasn't firm. And in the compromise, I would like sneak out and go do, mischievous stuff, stuff that I wasn't supposed to be doing, smoke cigarettes or, you know what I'm saying? And I would go sleep with women, this crazy stuff. And because of my compromise, there was a time came that when Pastor Eddie was like, yeah, you got to take the guy's phones. And I'm like,
I remember that.
He ain't taking my phone.
Yeah, I remember that. Because he was like, listen, if we go do this, because there was everybody was wild now. Yeah. He's like, nobody can have a phone. Yes. In the program. And so, that was the beef.
Yep. So I'm like, they're like, oh, Tim's like, Zeke, I don't want to, bro, but I got to take your phone. I'm like, what? I'm like, bro, you is not taking my phone.
Yeah,
bro.
I remember that.
He was like, well, I'm going to have to tell Pastor Eddie. I'm like, I'll tell him. You don't got to tell him. Yeah. So I went out there, and I'm like, hey, I ain't going to lie. Like, y'all is not taking my phone. I'm not going for that.
How many people put their life back 5 years because of a phone? I wonder how many times that's happened.
Listen, you'll be surprised, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
At that moment, I just didn't want to submit. And I was already compromising, so it was like, I'm out of here.
The door was open. You were already doing it, so, yeah.
And I'm like, I'm out of here, bro. Like, I can't be living like this anyway. I'd rather live all the way for the world or live all the way for the Lord.
Right,
it's
right.
One or the other.
Right, absolutely.
And through that, so I left. I ended up leaving, and when I left, I ended up going back to New York pretty much. Yeah. And when I went back to New York, because my foundation wasn't firm, because my house was built upon the sand and not built upon the rock.
Come on. I
ended up going back to the drugs and the gangs and the things that the Lord delivered me from. And when I did go back, I went crazy. Like, it was way, way worse than it was before I even went there. But the Bible says when you get delivered from a spirit, and the spirit goes and looking for somewhere to go, and it's a dry place in dry land. Yep. And when it comes back, returns back to the house that it came from, searching to see if a door is open, see it's clean as swept clean and stuff like that, and that's what happened. And they come back with seven more greater than itself.
Yeah.
And at this time, I remember.
It's never the second time, like the second time being delivered.
Yes,
is nothing like the first.
No.
Because the first time you didn't know or taste and see that God was good.
Yes.
Right? But by the second time, you knew the truth.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And so, tell me how that all went. How that felt. Like when you tried to go back out, like you said, it just wasn't the same.
Right. All right, so after I went through that season, I went through prison and everything like that.
Let's talk about that for a minute, though.
Okay.
Let's talk about prison for a minute.
All right.
So, because there's a part of that I think is really, really important, just to shows the grace of God on your life, man.
Yes.
And so you went in prison, and as you had mentioned earlier, there's a lot of gang activity in prison, Bloods, Crips. You were in upstate New York, and so tell me what happened. So if you guys will see right under Zeke's eye to his ear, there's a scar. I mean, you know what though? It's a good scar.
Yeah.
I gotta say, because it's not a scar that affects anything from looking at you straight off.
Right.
And so God even looked out for you on the scars. He's like, listen, you gonna have a lot of scars, but you still gonna be pretty anyway.
Yeah.
You still gonna be a good looking man of God.
Right.
But you was in there, and obviously you have to join a gang in prison, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like I've been told that, if you want to stay safe at least.
Yeah.
And so tell me what all happened in there.
All right, so I went to prison in my first couple years. I was chilling. I'm like, I'm not really trying to get into that. Like I know
You got sentenced to how many years?
So they sentenced me to 5 years.
5 years. For what?
For what? I had a slew of charges. Like they said I went on a crime spree.
A crime spree.
I mean, I broke into the Apple store and just went in there stealing iPads and I was acting crazy.
Yeah.
And I also had like 2 gun charges, and I actually bailed out on 1 gun charge, and they came and
picked you up on the other one.
And I did another one. I actually got caught on the scene on that one.
Oh wow.
And it was bad. And actually so this time I like beat this guy with a golf club, like threw a brick through it. It was so crazy, bro. It was crazy. And what happened was I was off acid, and I did acid and Xans, and those two together, that just didn't make anything even.
Oh, it makes everything bad.
Yeah. I literally sat on my bed listening to like this song, and I was like dry firing this, just cocking it back and just dry firing, continuously doing that. And then I just went out, that night, and I never came back home.
Man.
The girl I was with, she was like, hey, I think you should stay home tonight. Like, don't go nowhere. Like, I don't want you to get in trouble. And had I would have listened, I wouldn't have got in trouble.
I remember she told me, I think from your old Facebook page, she actually texted me and had told me that you were sentenced to 5 years in prison. Yeah. And I talked to you a couple of times throughout those 5 years. But while you were in there, like, tell me about how that scar happened on your face that you have right now.
So first, they put me in solitary confinement. I did more than half my time in solitary confinement.
In 5 years, you did more than half in solitary.
More than half my time in solitary.
Wow. That's a lot.
There was a situation that happened. It was a gang war, and they put me in solitary confinement for 270 days straight. As I sat in solitary confinement, there was a Bible on a book card, and I began to read the Bible. And I was reading the Bible one day. I heard the Lord's voice. I heard audibly, and he spoke to me. And he told me to leave the gangs alone, and I almost flipped out, bro. Mind you, I'm in a cell by myself. I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And he told me to leave the gangs alone, and I wanted to leave it alone so bad, but I just felt like I was stuck. I felt like there was no way out. I'm in jail,
Yeah.
And because of my disobedience, when my time in solitary confinement was up, they put me back out in population.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in another gang war, and I was cut 3 times.
Wow. Where did they cut you that time?
So they cut me on the right side of my face, on the left side, and right here on my arm.
Yeah, that's some big. If y'all can see, there's some big cuts on his arm too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right here.
Yeah, and right there. Yeah.
But just after that, I did that time, and then I would go back in for fighting police, or go back in for drugs, or go back in for another gang fight, or whatever it was. I was just in and out. It was like the cycle in and out. And
for several years.
Several years.
Yeah.
For the last three years, pretty much was just chaos.
Yeah. After the 5 year sentence.
Yes.
3 years. The next 3 years were just crazy.
Yeah. Like my first couple years, like I was in like fights and stuff like that, but not to the extent of the last. Like I went to probably like 6 or 7 jails.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Like I was blowing spots like crazy.
That's crazy. Yeah. And so was they like? So you had maxed out those. So these were like new charges, and you had to face them. Did you do any time over those?
No.
You didn't have to do any time over those. Man, that's crazy too. You know.
So I maxed out on my prison sentence. I actually did more time than I was sentenced. I did 5 years, 10 months, and 17 days.
What was the reason for that?
They just didn't give me my good time.
Oh, they didn't.
No, they didn't give me my good time.
So you didn't get no time of the year.
Oh no.
10 months served.
No.
So you did 10 months, then they sentenced you, then you still had to do the 5 years.
Yeah. Well, it was just because I was back and forth because the case is like I get out for a week and I get locked back up.
Yeah, I see.
Like I was just keep getting belted. So they was like, yeah, no, we're not giving none of that time.
Okay, so they just made you do more, almost 6 years.
Yeah. So I did almost 6 years. You might as well say
almost 6 years. And you know what's crazy is like that much time, man. It could at your age, because you were how old when you went in?
I was 20. I had just turned 21.
Just turned 21.
Yeah.
That could almost like institutionalize somebody. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And so, what was it like after you? Is there more you want to talk about into that, or do you want to? What happened next?
Also, I was just like in a cycle, in and out of solitary confinement. Then when I finally got out of prison, I started messing with the girl that I was messing with before I went to prison, and she was like doing escorting and stuff like that, and like Percocet 30s, and I'm like, hey, you're too good for that. Like, I'm like, hey, you're too good. This isn't you. Like, I know you. Like, this isn't you.
Right.
And she would say, there was a point where she felt like I was talking down on her.
Mm.
And I'm like, you know what? I'm not even gonna say nothing no more. And like I've done Percocets before, and I'm like, hey, let me try it. And she's like, no, I don't want to get you on this. Like, it's hard. In my mind, I'm like, I took Perkies before. You not
Yeah.
gonna.
They're not gonna do nothing.
Yeah. But listen, I should have listened. I should have listened.
Yeah.
At that point, I did it. I did it. My second time doing it, I actually overdosed and died. They Narcan me 4 times, and when God finally put breath back in my lungs, the paramedics said they weren't gonna Narcan me no more. Like, I mean, I woke up mad. Mind you, I'm on parole. I woke up, ambulance in the house, paramedics. I'm like, bro, what's going on? Why y'all here?
Like, oh yeah. And why am I waking up like this?
Right. What's going on? How I fall asleep?
Yeah.
But not even knowing, I really overdosed and died. And so after that, I just go down this long road of drug addiction. And instead of leading her out of that, I just began to influence it. You know what I'm saying? And the enemy tried to get me into the like other girls that was doing like escorting and stuff like that. But I have 5 sisters. So like I really, you know, like that really breaks my heart to see it.
Yeah, man.
But listen, I seen the money. I'm like, listen, you do what you want to do.
So that he was like, all right, go ahead, compromise it all.
Right,
I don't care. Yeah.
But and I really felt bad, and through this time, me doing so much drugs,
But in our brokenness, we never see correctly, anyways.
No.
Yeah, very distorted views.
Yes, that's so true.
Yeah.
And when a person is battling drug addiction, they're not themselves. You have to realize that that's a stronghold.
It is.
That's a spirit that's controlling that person. That's literally a spirit that's controlling that person.
It's a spirit of addiction, and you know what else it does too, psychologically to your brain. It makes the frontal lobe of your brain very inactive, and that's where your moral decisions come from.
Yes.
So, and it makes the activity side of your brain, you know, like the pleasure side, very active.
Yes.
So people will wonder, they're like, how could somebody rob their grandma like that? Well, you know how they can?
Listen.
Because their frontal lobe is not active at all. They don't have no conscience.
Right. They're just doing stuff.
Yeah, just to keep feeding the cycle that they can't get to go away. They just keep on and on and on and on.
That's crazy. It's crazy that you said that, because I watched this video the other day, and it shows like what happens when the frontal lobe when a person is talking or something like that, how the activity that goes on in the frontal lobe. But when you're praying in tongues and the Holy Spirit, there's no activity in your frontal lobe at all.
I have seen that, actually. I've seen that study. It's very interesting.
Bro,
isn't
it's
it?
crazy. It is so crazy.
That's so cool too. It just and it shows you that like your brain's not even doing it. You know? Like.
Also, here's the thing: like a lot of people fail to realize that when a person is battling addiction, that it's literally a spirit that's controlling them.
It's a spirit,
Like,
spiritual battle.
Yes, Ephesians 6 says the battle is not between flesh and blood, but against spirits, principalities.
That's right.
And rulers of the darkness.
And pharmakia, like
Yeah.
The word pharmakia,
Yes.
where we get the word pharmacy,
Yeah,
which
that's-
means drugs.
Yes.
Paul wrote that in Galatians 5 as a work of the flesh, but also it's written in, I think, I want to say Revelation, 12 something, I want to say. But in there it says that the nations will be deceived by now this is the prophecy, right?
Yeah.
Of the revelation of what's to come. And it says, their nations will be deceived by and we would read the word in English, whether it be we would read witchcraft, sorcery, or something like that.
Yes.
But the actual word that it says is the nations will be deceived by their pharmakia is the word.
Wow.
And so, and when I think about America, man, especially, and then not just America, bro, we got the pleasure of traveling with Eddie, so we've seen this everywhere, man. The Philippines had a terrible drug problem. There's been nowhere I've been that's not bad. And so, even Scotland, you wouldn't even think that, man. Yeah. And when I was there, it was terrible. But like, if you think about the nations will be deceived by and what do we battle against the most here in America? Big Pharma. Yes. Big Pharma tries to rule everything in our lives, man. They try to give you medication for everything.
Everything.
Wait, you got a bruise underneath your pinky finger?
Yeah.
Hold on, let me get you something for that. Yeah. Instead of natural healing is not a thing that's promoted in our country.
Right.
Or in a lot of the world, and so now the nations are deceived because we believe we have to have a pill for every single thing that happens in our life.
Yes.
And that's where I think that Americanized addiction mindset comes from. Big Pharma did a great job of introducing this stuff into our poor, parts of the country. Like Portsmouth, Ohio was a big place. West Virginia got hit because of the coal industry. And then once the coal industry fell out, after the boom of coal just went away, right? So now you got all these people in a rural place addicted to drugs, and what are they gonna do? They're gonna sell drugs, they're gonna steal, they're gonna rob, they're gonna do whatever they have to do to get the drugs. Then they're like, all right, so the answer to this is to take away the pills. Let's take away the pill mills. We'll get rid of the pill mills, this will fix it all. Yeah. Well, guess what? Then I started doing heroin right after that. And then heroin comes in, and it's cheaper than, I'm gonna pay $40 for the amount of heroin that Oxycontin 80 that is $120.
Right.
I'm gonna pay $40 and get it. It's cheaper. But then after that, it ain't even enough. Then in comes fentanyl because heroin just ain't enough. So we need something more.
Yep.
And so in comes fentanyl. Fentanyl comes in, and it just it's time after time. There's nothing new under the sun. All the way back to Paul's days, man, they were doing things before they would go in the temple of all this concoction of herbs and stuff. They be getting high.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And so, man, it's crazy to me. When you think about that, the nations will be deceived by their pharmakia. And then you even go further than that. Let's go one more step further because we think fentanyl is all where it's at. Well, guess what? There's a new thing now. It's called OHMS, 7 ohms is what they call it. It's got a longer name, 7-hydroxy. It's an extract from kratom, but it is. They say it can be up to 40 times stronger than morphine, and you can go in any vape store and buy it. Yeah, I've literally seen it destroy people's lives, man.
I don't want no parts of that.
Yeah, and so my point is, pharmakia just is ruling and reigning more than anything in our nation right now. And so we're deceived by it. A lot of the world's deceived by that.
So here's the thing. Most people who's on opiates, their addiction starts from a prescription.
Oh, usually, most of the time. Mine did, yeah.
Most of the time it starts from a prescription. Like, they've tried it. Mm-hmm. Or they've been prescribed it and after that, I just want to keep taking it. Yeah. And with me, I've tried them before, but I've never was really addicted to them. Right. But the way fentanyl made me feel.
Yeah. It was almost demonic in itself, wasn't it?
Yes. The way fentanyl made me feel, it was man, it was like I was floating on a cloud.
Yeah. You know what? With that, I've come to learn. I'll never forget getting this revelation. It was it was in 2016, driving down the Mount of Olives with Eddie and Joe Fisher. Right. And Eddie the whole time, y'all better slow down. You know how Eddie's. But I remember getting the revelation. I said it in the car. I was like, the enemy can't create. He can only counterfeit what God's already created.
Yes.
So when he uses stuff like fentanyl, heroin, all that stuff, it's a mimic of what the presence of God is supposed to do in our life.
Right.
I believe it's the thing that's supposed to that's what it's counterfeiting what the peace of God is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, it's crazy how that is. Yeah.
Man, and it's crazy because this pandemic that there's so many people that died to drug overdoses. And when fentanyl came out, it was like this big thing. Like, and I was in prison when it happened.
Mm-hmm.
So when I came out and like I'm seeing I'm like, it's a Percocet.
And they look like, for the people that don't know that would watch this,
they
would look just like a Roxycodone 30 milligram pill.
It looks regular.
Identical to it, but it's not. It's actually fentanyl pressed to look pill. Like that.
Yes.
Because it's cheaper than the actual pills, but it's like hundreds of times stronger than the actual pills too.
Yes, you don't know what you're getting.
You don't know. You could make one little bump and be dead.
Listen, man, I overdosed off of a half, like literally something, bro, the size of a speck.
Yeah.
And I overdosed.
Yeah, that's all. And man, and that's what it's like the world, the drugs, it's like the enemy is making this push on the end times, I think, man.
Yes. He
is attacking in ways like on strong arming. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, we're seeing like people get shot at, people be like assassinated in public. We see
crazy.
Drugs running rampant, and we just see all these drugs keep being introduced. When they try to stop one, here comes another one.
Yes.
So we're living in those days, man, where we're going to see some. Well, we already do see some wild stuff. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
And I even think about, like, I have this video when I was in Brown County, the place we're going to open in Cincinnati one night, and up in the sky, I haven't shown you this yet, but there's this video I took, man. I'm telling you, there was all these orbs up there of different colors, and they just be like disappear, and you can see all different green, blue, yellow, red, green, blue, yeah, and it was crazy. So I thought about, like when they talked about chariots of fire in the sky, or seeing, signs in the sky, in the sky. I believe, this is my personal belief, I don't believe that they're aliens. I believe they're demons.
Oh, for sure.
Chariots, all they had to speak to was the language that they had at the time. They wouldn't have known what a light was. All they would know was fire, because that's the only light they would have had, right?
Yes.
So he would have said, I saw a chariot, because that's the only vehicle that they had.
Right.
A fire in the sky, but really, it could be what we're seeing today,
right,
as a sign, and I just think it's crazy, man. It's a wild time we live in. So let's hop back in and tell me where, like when you got out of prison and you finally came to the end of yourself, man. How did you end up back with Eddie? And like, how did that kind of play out from when you getting out of prison, 3 years being chaos, and then you have a moment? What's that moment look like?
So what it really was, I was in so much torment in my mind. I had to go into mental health hospitals. I was just in so much torment in my mind. I was in a mental health hospital for almost a month. And it was so bad. Like, I was hearing voices. I was suicidal. I was depressed. There was so much oppression going on. There's so much division going on. I was homeless and I was broken. I was tired of it. I'm like, there's one day when I said, God, where do I go at this point in my life? What do I do? Because I'm tired of living like this. And at that moment, the Lord spoke to me and he told me to go back to the ministry. And this time when I came back to the ministry, I said, I gave the drugs my all. I gave the gangs my all. I gave the streets my all.
That's right.
I'm going to give Jesus my all.
Come on.
And I begin to fast and I begin to pray.
Now you are, I will say, out of all of the people I know, man, you probably fast and pray more than most people that I know, And so tell me how you got that discipline. Is it because you said you was going to give everything? Is that what made you do it, you feel?
Yes. Well, I just naturally have an addictive personality.
Right. Even if it's to the word, or even if it's the same. Yeah, I'm the same way. Yeah.
So what I did was I just switched out the drugs for prayer, the word, and fasting.
Worship. Yeah, and fasting.
And worship.
Yeah, because listen, Zeke, I mean, and I know you would never say this, but I will say it. Zeke's fasted for me, man, in times that I was going through some hard stuff, man, no joke. And Zeke would call me, and he had been fasting for me, and I never even knew it. And then he'd be like, "As I was fasting for you, the Lord gave me this word for you," and it was like always on point too, man. I will say, like prophetically speaking, God speaks through you very, very accurately, and it's very cool to see because, man, I've always saw just so much in you, man, like so much purpose, and like there's a reason you're attacked so hard. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like people don't go rob houses that ain't got no value in it, right? So it's the same concept. Why the enemy go rob somebody that don't have anything that's going to be impactful in the world?
Yes.
And he has tried every way from here to last Sunday to get you to give in to his ways.
Yes. Yes.
And you've overcame them, man.
Yes.
I think that's why for all of us, usually in this types of ministry, or some of us that's really went through some very hard stuff, man, like traumatic stuff. I think that song "Overcomer" by Eddie,
yes,
it's like an anthem for all of us.
Oh, for sure.
He wrote that, and it was like the first time I ever heard it, I was like, "Oh my gosh, man, this is our song." Yeah.
Yes.
And so it was really cool the other night to see Nico be able to sing it with him at the Reach pop up we did.
That was powerful.
That was so cool. It was so cool. Such a cool moment. But and man, so now, like, so you got, God set you free. Mm-hmm. You're now back with Eddie. And so what's the next, let's say few months look like for you? Because there's some transitions happening. Right. And so what's it going to look like for yourself, you think?
So, well, I do want to say this. I do feel like I need to share this. In that season of fasting and prayer, like God just revealed himself to me so much. And I ended up like meeting this girl, and like we was talking and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And there was due to some unfortunate circumstances, I had to get my son, so I couldn't travel with Pastor Eddie. I had to
remember that.
Be stable and be I had to be a dad.
Yeah.
And it was like these offers, like everything, like the house, a car, a job. I'm like, oh, this got to be God. Like, I'm like, I know this is God for sure.
Yeah.
He didn't speak to me like on it, but like I'm just like signs, I could see it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I was still like young, like even though I was fasting and praying, I was still learning the voice of God.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm like,
because you're only what, 29 or 30 now?
Yeah, I'm 30.
30. Yeah, you're 30 years old, man. What a life you've already lived, you know, at 30.
And at this point, I'm still learning the voice of God. I'm like, yes, it's definitely from the Lord, So I go and I tell Pastor Eddie, hey, Pastor, hey, Pops, like this is what I feel like I'm supposed to do. And he said, all right, well, we're gonna do it this way. I'm gonna bless you out. We're gonna do it the right way. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, all right,
yeah.
So I went, I waited, I listened to him, and he's like, so he blessed me out, and I go there. And I went through this time, was out there for like a couple months, and I ended up having we ended up having a moral failure.
Yeah. You fell with the girl.
Yeah, and I felt so bad about it. I felt such a conviction.
Yeah.
I was so broken, and I'm like, man, why? Like, God, I've been fasting, I've been praying, like, why? And he just showed me that I'm a human. The Bible says that a righteous man falls 7 times, but he gets back
up, baby.
Right. And it's not about your fall. It's which way you fall. Are you going to fall towards the cross or away from the cross?
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's good, yeah.
And at that moment, I'm like, man, I just repented. And I was like, after that day, we left it at that. Like, we fell, that's it. But I should have said something to spiritual covering. I should have said something to a spiritual father.
I think there's always that fear, though, like of like, just being real. And I know this from personal experience. I went through some of this stuff. All that I went through. So it's almost like a fear of disappointment. Yeah, that's all it is.
And really, that's all it was. Like, dang, Pastor Eddie placed me out here. I'm connected with this pastor. Like, I'm like, dang, like, why am I going through?
I feel like I blew it.
Right. And I'm like, I'm not even gonna say nothing. Like, nobody knows but us. Right. Me, her, and God, and that's it.
That's right.
And but it wasn't that, and because of that, it just allowed us to go do something. So one day we was coming back from somewhere, and we came up with the idea, hey, we might as well just go get married. The door's already open. The temptation is strong.
Yeah.
Bible says it's better to get married than to burn with lust, or it's better to get married than to burn with passion.
Yeah.
And at that moment, I was already burning with lust. Had to be, because in my mind, it's like, we could go right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So at that moment, I'm like, all right, you know what? Yeah, let's go.
Let's go get married.
Random Tuesday, we go and get married.
But really, it was just lust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we basically got married just to sleep together for real. Because she didn't.
Absolutely.
Here's the thing.
We
didn't tell anybody.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't say anything to anybody.
Right.
So we was married, just sleeping around.
Mm-hmm.
And around this time, I had went through some church hurt and stuff like that. And like the church that I was at, you know, the pastor had this meeting behind my back, and it was like so much deceit. Like, you know, like they said, it was like when they found out. So she, the girl that we had an immoral affair, my ex-wife, she ended up telling her friend, and her friend told her brother, and her brother told her parents, and it just blew up as this big thing. Like, I felt like everybody made it seem like I was just this bad person.
Right.
I didn't say anything. I didn't tell nobody that we fell before we got married. Like, I didn't say anything. I just took everything. I didn't even fight.
Just own it. Yeah.
I just owned it. You know. So I called Pastor Eddie. Actually, I'm like, I called my dad. I'm like, hey, Dad, I'm about to come down to Miami with you. Like, you know,
So that's where your dad's in Miami?
Yeah, my dad's in Miami
okay.
right now. So I'm about to come down there with you, just working, you know, whatever the case may be. And he's like, all right, give me a bus ticket and a ticket out there. And it was a bus ticket, I think, because me and my son was gonna go out there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I called Pastor Eddie, and I'm like, hey, Pops, you know, I'm like, hey, I messed up. You know, this what happened. He's like, so much grace, and he's just so patient.
Always.
Yeah.
Always.
And I just hear him say, son, you know.
That's how he processes it. It's always that deep breath.
Yes.
That deep breath is like, and it's like, peace be with me.
Right. And he was just so the way that he went about it. It was just so, he was like, all right, no, well, I really don't feel like you're supposed to go to Miami. I feel like you're supposed to come back.
Yeah.
And allow me to, you know, connect you. And it was actually a connection that the Lord already made way before time. Which if I would have waited on the Lord and allowed Pastor Eddie to place me where he wanted to place me, I wouldn't have went through all that.
Right.
You know
It's when you did it on your own.
Right. But when I tried to do it on my own, it was like thinking, you know, I'm a man, I got to put everything together. I got to do everything by myself instead of leaning on my spiritual
how often do we do that, though? We always, like, it's almost like, I'm in the moments we want to do it our way. This is always our go-to. I'm a grown man. If I want to go be with somebody, I'm gonna be with them. Ain't no other man gonna tell me what I can. But really, all we're saying is, God, I'm running away from you right now. Okay?
Yes, and that's exactly what happens. And man, I've done it so many times, bro. Countless of times.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, I went through this. I'm like, you know what, like. And then even when we did get married, I'm like, I don't owe nobody nothing. I don't got to tell nobody nothing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, oh, y'all a thing.
Right.
Y'all can subscribe to my, if you want more info, subscribe to my YouTube channel, $5.99 a month.
Yeah.
Start charging people for information.
Right, that's so funny. That is so funny.
I'm just joking, but people take that and run with it. Like, you believe he's trying to sell information online for $5.99?
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You might get a lot of subscribers though.
If I get some subscribers, I mean,
I'm not against it. I'm not opposed to it.
The Take Two Harbor Pod could definitely, we'll take the jump.
Right.
We'll take the jump. Okay, so let's, like you went back with Eddie. Let's talk about how that kind of played out. You're back with Eddie, and that's been how long now since you've been back with Eddie?
So, it's been about probably about 6 months, almost 7 months.
Dude, and you've been, through that. I can attest to that. Through that 7 months, man, I've just, because a couple years ago, Eddie flew me down to speak at a thing in Hot Springs he had.
Yeah, at a shift conference.
Yes. And and that's when I had first seen you since you left.
Yes.
Man, that was like, I still have that picture actually. That picture, I'll never forget that, because I thought to myself, how good is God, man? Because I've told stories of you for 10 years, you know, like of Zeke. and it was only not a real long time. We stayed connected, but our time together was, it wasn't like it was 5 years or something.
Right,
but
it was short.
God gave us like a very, very strong bond. And,
Yes.
It's never went away.
No.
I could not see you for 5 years and see you and just be like, bam, pick up right where we left off.
Right where we left off.
Yeah. And still the same old silly jokes and everything.
Yeah.
But,
that's so true.
But man, and you guys, so you're about to go on an overseas trip very, very soon, correct? Where are you going?
Actually, next week we're going to Germany.
To Germany.
Yes.
Yeah, so you'll be in Germany. Shoo, I was there close to this time last year. Yep. It's cold.
It's cold. Very cold.
Yeah, it's very cold. The whole of Europe. No wonder. I'm like, why is Ireland so green? Oh, because it rains every day and it's freezing. Right. And so, but anyways, we'll kind of bring this to a close. But I just want to say how proud I am of you, man, and just watching you grow over the past decade has just been absolutely amazing. And the grace of God that I've seen on your life it's greater than I've seen almost any human being have, because He has spared you so many times, man. Yes. And it's only the beginning. That's what's cool. It's just now getting started. And I just believe with everything inside of me, man, that there's a whole world you'll impact. Your voice will go far. And one last thing that we'll say before we leave is that we will be releasing a song soon.
Yes.
And so the song is a remixed version of "See You Again" by Wiz Khalifa, and we're going to do the chorus will be the same.
Yes.
But Zeke, a lot of people don't know this. Zeke had offer from Sony
Records.
Yeah, as a rapper, and so he is gonna. I'm writing it.
Yes. And I'm gonna rap it.
Yeah, and he's gonna rap it. Because I'm not gonna rap it. There's no way I'm gonna rap it. I can't even rap a Christmas present. Ain't no way I'm trying to rap this song. And so, but man, it's gonna be a tribute to my sister, and which is what everything man, I've tried my whole ministry to honor her in everything I do and make sure that her legacy lives on forever. And that's my goal. Not for mine too, but obviously through Christ, I want her legacy to live on for way past my time. And so it's gonna be great, man. I appreciate you being willing to do it too.
Hey, I want to say something, bro. Yeah. I just want to let you know, bro, how much you inspire me. How, bro, I've seen you go from just barely knowing how to lead. Like literally from the beginning. I was the first one who was not really knowing what to do.
I didn't know what to do.
Just still trying to figure it out to where you're at now is just so inspiring, bro. You really planted seeds. Even back then, you just planted so many seeds in my life. Even how you teach, how you not even taught me, but just led the way by demonstrating, going out praying for people, evangelizing, having a heart for the broken.
Yeah, man.
Doing stuff like that planted something in me. And God used you in a mighty way. You and Pastor Eddie are a big part of my walk.
Man.
I really appreciate you guys. I honor you guys so much. I love y'all so much.
Bro, thank you so much. That's an honor, man. Thank you. It is, because I just got this feeling that there's some bright things on the horizon, and it's only the beginning.
Only the beginning.
It's only the beginning. And so, man, thank you, Zeke, for coming on, man. And we just all pray for safe travels over you. And thank you for being willing to be so vulnerable and share what God's done in your life, man, because I know without a doubt this story is going to help a lot of people. And so thank you for being here. And guys, this is the Take 2 Harbor Pod.
Yes.
And we will see y'all next time. Peace.